Hey guys, it is me, Tanya, founder of the Teen Gin Science Group Limited. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Now, in this particular video, we're going to be talking about how to brand your exhibition. Now, yeah, there are many ways to go ahead and do it. Obviously there are, but I want to share with you 3 specific ways that will help you to make sure that you're branding your exhibition in a way, not only that it's congruent to your standards and your beliefs, but really puts a smile on your face, even during those stressful times when you're trying to make sure that everything gets organized as it should do. Make sure you stick around to the very end, because there's also a way that I want to make sure that you keep that momentum going when it comes to helping to understand these key 3 things that I'm going to be sharing with you. But also make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel, because as always I share content just like this, but also different ways to help to make sure that your brand is not only getting the awareness that it deserves, but equally you're showing up with your brand in a way that's congruent to your standards and your beliefs, all without losing yourself in the process. So that being said, let's get stuck into it. So as I said, we're going to be talking about how do you brand your exhibition. Now, your exhibition or even event, right? This really applies to both. Now, whether it be an exhibition or an event, there's 3 key things that I want to make sure that always stays within your mind when you are pulling this whole thing together. Whether it be a 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, however long your event, this applies. And essentially, I'm going to tell you exactly what they are right now, but I'm going to do a little deep dive into each one simply because you need to know exactly how it applies, right? Now, the things that I want you to always have in mind, especially when it comes to branding your exhibition, event, whatever it may be, you've always got to have your theme in mind, your visibility in mind, and equally your action in mind. Now, let's go into each and every one of those, right? So we'll start with your theme in mind. When I talk about theme, I'm talking about what is the whole point of this event in the first place? What is the why that you are doing this? I'm not necessarily focused in on the colors just yet. However, that also does come into play. But when I'm talking about theme, I'm talking about what is the why behind this event. For example, your theme could literally be about a lesson that you want others to make sure that they go away and really think about, or have a thought-provoking moment and question about. But equally, your theme could also be about empowerment. It could be about action takers or taking action. It could be about making sure that you are empowered to keep moving. So when you have your theme in mind, that will then help you to generate all the information that you need to now have in order to represent that theme. Because when you don't have a theme, here's what's going to happen. You are just going to have a standard event. You will have a standard event or exhibition that will, yeah, it will be cool, but what's the point of it? If people don't know the reason why they are going to this event in the first place, it's going to make it harder for them to understand, okay, well, what's the point of me going in the first place? What's the point of me giving up a day in order to go spend it with these people who I don't necessarily know very well yet? But if they had a point to work with, if they had an idea to work with, it would actually add to their motivation of wanting to get up and go. You're essentially doing that with your theme. You're providing that get up and go element, so help them to understand what is the get up and go element? What is the theme for your event? So okay, so that was theme. Now let's talk about this next part, right? So the idea of visibility. When you have visibility in mind, here's what also you'll have in mind. You'll have, aside from the aesthetic side of things, right, your flyers, your roller banners, your posters, and that type of thing, aside from those, you're going to be having the elements of the theme running all the way through the visibility aspect as well. You're essentially creating that experience that you want others to start remembering. It needs to be an emotional feeling, meaning that everything from your campaign to how you're promoting this event, to how you're actually talking up on social media, who's actually going to be speaking about it, needs to be representing the theme that you would have discovered, but equally also now needs to be shown visually as to how it can actually represent or even resonate with your intended audience who are going to be coming. Now, here's the thing. With your visibility aspect, I'm sure you're going to agree. If you've ever come across an event that looks very slapdash, very rushed and put together, it's not representing that event very, very well. And that it also includes others exhibiting in that event. It starts from the external aspect, right? So help others, especially your audience, to know and understand that you mean business and you are to be taken seriously because you paid attention to things. You want to make sure you are paying attention to detail. Don't get lost in the detail, however, pay attention to it. And I know sometimes that can get a little easy to do, but however, when you've been in those moments where you've seen those slapdash events really being rushed and put together, it shows. And that really does make a difference. Whether you think it would or not, it does make a difference. Now, that's not to say, by the way, things can go wrong in an event. And if they do go wrong, especially at an exhibition, you got to go with it. You got to roll with it, right? And I like to do something which is known as calling the elephant out in the room. Meaning that you draw attention to the obvious, others know about it so they can stop whispering about it, but at the same time you're either creating a joke about it or you help others to see and understand that, you know what, yes, we do know about what's just happened, so please know that we've got it handled and we are making sure that we are creating this best possible kind of experience for you to enjoy and for you to remember. So think about also how you can also call out the elephant in the room. That's just a little side note there, but back onto the idea of visibility. Visibility will match the idea of what your theme is. Visibility will also match the idea of what your brand is. So the brand for this specific event, but equally the brand that you have in its entirety. You've got to remember that even though, for example, you may have a whole bunch of exhibitors with their own brands, your main brand for the exhibition needs to be standing strong. People have invested in your exhibition, so help them to know and understand why they have invested in you. Help them to know and understand why you need to be taken seriously, and help them to know and understand that, listen, these are my values, this is the vision that I have, and this is the reason why I'm doing it. And showcase that through the aesthetics of your exhibition. Now, visibility can also mean the idea of, once again, how you're promoting your event. Is it on socials? Is it through interviews, on podcasts, on media entertainment channels, or things like that, or even on radio? How are you creating the visibility asset that will help to boost the awareness of your brand, specifically your exhibition or event brand? Make sure that you're talking it up in a way that you know that resonates with your brand, resonates with who you are, why it is that you're doing what you're doing with this exhibition. Again, your theme should always roll through it. When you have your theme, you'll have the look and feel as to what this space should look like for all your exhibitors and equally all of your audience who are wanting to come and experience all of what's going on. And when you know what your theme is, the visibility asset side of things will also become super apparent. More so in the side of things where you know who you want to be speaking to, you know where you want to be showcasing and advertising or promoting your event, and equally you know where it is that you want to make sure that your message gets sent, delivered, and reached as well. Okay? Those are all a lot, I appreciate. However, just know and understand that your theme will relate to the idea of your visibility, meaning that when you know what your theme is, you know who you need to be speaking to, you know who you need to be approaching, and equally you know where you need to be showing up as well. But your visibility should always, always, always adhere to the idea as to what your brand stands for in the first place. Now, let's get on to the third thing, which is the idea of action. Now, a lot of people, typically, they will make sure that, hey, do you know what, we've got to make sure we get that exhibitor, we've got to make sure that we get that exhibitor again, yeah, and we've got to make sure that they book again, right? We want to make sure that they come back again. Typically, that's the main focus. But here's what a lot of people tend to forget. Exhibitors can only come and exhibit if they've got an audience to exhibit to. That means that they are not only your focus, your main focus should actually be your audience who've attended your event. Your main focus should be around them, meaning, what are you doing to make sure that they come back again? What is your call to action? The idea of call to action even applies here at this point. You're not just creating this event for a one-off thing or this exhibition for a one-off appearance. No, your intention, I would imagine, is actually to do this again and again. It doesn't have to be regularly. However, I'm pretty sure you would want to do it again and again and again, right? So, What are you doing to make sure that that call to action remains apparent, remains clear for your audience who are coming to see these exhibitors, see these panelists, see whoever's speaking at this event or this exhibition? What are you doing to make sure that they come back again? How are you making sure that that theme, your visibility assets, are actually also reinforcing how they can actually come back again? Make sure you're making that clear at all times, because it's very easy to go to a space, have fun at the space, but not want to go back again. Simply because, one, you either haven't had the instruction to, yes, sometimes we need the instruction to, believe it or not, or simply because the experience that should have been created wasn't had. So what are you doing to make sure that that experience is had? What are you doing to make sure that your theme continues all the way through? What are you doing to make sure that the visibility asset that you'll be needing for the promotion, for the awareness building for this exhibition, what are you doing to make sure that that action does the job that it actually needs to? So I'm going to leave it there. Now, I'm conscious I've shared a lot about this, but just know theme, visibility, and action always need to play an important role when it comes to your exhibition, when it comes to your event, when it comes to presenting anything that either showcases others or presents a resource that others would like to tap into off the back of being motivated, off the back of being inspired. Yeah, it's a lot. However, when you have these three things in mind, it makes that journey all the more easier just to get it done. So I'm going to leave it there, folks. Please make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel. And before you go, in order to make sure that you understand what your brand could be, especially when it comes to understanding how you build the awareness of your exhibition in the first place, or branding your exhibition, you got to make sure that you tap into these key principles, because they will help to reinforce these ideas even more so. Now, there's 6 key principles, in fact, and they're what I use to help elevate other people's brands, and equally what I've used to help elevate my own brand too. When you click on the link that's in the description box below this video, click on the first link, and when you do so, enter in your few details, but equally off the back of that, what I'm going to do is then go ahead and send you my principles. Now, these principles are for you to have. These principles are for you to go ahead and use, and to make sure that you're getting yourself out there in the best possible kind of a way, especially when it comes to the idea of building your brand awareness around your exhibition or even your event as well. You're going to need to know how you make sure that you use your values in order to create that theme in the first place. You're equally also going to need to know how you're going to be able to create your people pools in order for your visibility asset to happen in the first place, and equally also know where to promote yourself, so you're actually showcasing yourself in the right places, rather than feeling that you've got to spread yourself so thinly that you've then tired yourself out. These principles are there to help to save you time, and they're equally there to help, once again, just to make that journey all the more easier for yourself. So, folks, go ahead and tap into those. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you on the other side.